Hello, this is Tamara Rogers from Tamara Rogers Design. You are at the mug rug tutorial. So glad you are here. And at this point, you have chosen your adventure and decided whether to follow the chart instructions or the written instructions. After you have a little practice, the chart instructions are quite easy. Doesn't matter which one you do you, but you're going to do the border stitch, which you have done a few times now, which is chain 1, single crochet in both loops of the first stitch. And again, this pattern is 20 stitches throughout. 20 stitches throughout, and it's a good pattern to start with. We're going to walk through this slowly because it's important to make sure we're together. This is row 3. You're going to do a double crochet in the front loop of the same color below, which is the darker color. And what you do in mosaic crochet, when you double crochet, you skip that single crochet loop and you start working into the next one. And so this row 3 is a series of double crochets. You do a double crochet and then 7 single crochets through the top loop. It's very important to get this row set up properly because everything else flows from here at the beginning of the pattern. So 7 single crochets in a darker color. So I started with the border stitch, double crochet, and 7 single crochets. I'm counting those, and at this point you should have 9 stitches. Double check at the lower row of the darker color to see where those 7 stitches are, because you're going to skip those and work into stitch 8 of the color below into the double crochet. So you're going to do 2 double crochets into the front loop of the darker color of the row below. This is the trickiest part of mosaic crochet, and because you did the double crochet, remember you're going to skip the single crochets of the row above and then work into that next stitch. So anytime you do a double crochet, you skip those and then you work into the next row. So since we did 2 double crochets, we're skipping those single crochets and going into the top loop to do the single crochet. Now I'm just showing you that you're now following the pattern where you're going to do a series of single crochets at the top loop and then double crochet in the front loop of the darker color. Single crochet, and then make sure you skip the single crochet loop even in a darker color to make sure that you have the right stitch count. What I'm doing is just making sure. So as a reminder, when you are single crocheting at the top loop, that is a stitch that you skip below in the lower row too. So that way you'll end up with the correct stitch count. For row 3, it ends with the double crochet and a border stitch. So your pattern on your design should look identical to this, just with your unique colors. The border stitch ends with single crochet and chain through both loops, and that counts as 1 stitch for the border stitch. You cut the tail off. Those will be incorporated into the tassels. You pull through and tighten. And I like to use stitch markers, but you do you. Whatever works for you, just as long as you have 20 stitches. And it should look identical to this, but it will grow into a beautiful piece.